This is Duluth, Minnesota, literally one of my favorite cities in the world. Duluth is Minnesota's third largest city, and if you think about the state that you live in and the third largest city in your state, it is not going to be as cool as Duluth, Minnesota. Everybody from California, Texas, and Florida just got on their keyboard. But it's here in Duluth, Minnesota that Minnesota's unique cuisine really comes to life. And you know, so many tourists, they come right here to Canal Park, and there's a lot of cool restaurants here in Canal Park. It's a touristy place. But in this video, I'm gonna take you away from all of the general touristy areas of Duluth and show you some secret spots that aren't found in the touristy areas of Duluth that really show off how unique the cuisine is here in Duluth away from all the touristy areas. And yes, I understand the irony of standing here in Canal Park, not filming anything in Canal Park. I'm Dave Kaufman. I travel to distant, exotic places and places a little closer to home to indulge in the culture and cuisine from the familiar to the extreme. There's always an open seat at my table for you, and sure, I'll pick up the tab. This is Dave Kaufman Eats the World. So we're gonna start off our Duluth food tour right here on Superior Street at this place. This is Duluth's Best Bread, and it's one of the places that a lot of people know about, and it's one of the places that you most definitely have to put on your list when you get here to Duluth. So for breakfast, I've gotten 4 items on their menu. This one over here is the caramel and coconut scone. Then over here, we've got an almond and chocolate croissant with powdered sugar on top. Next up, we've got a mango Danish, and then of course, I just had to get one of their signature cinnamon rolls. All right, so I'm gonna start off with the caramel and coconut scone. This is a really interesting flavor combination. I'm not really too sure how it's going to complement each other. Is it going to conflict with each other? There's only one way to find out, and that's to take a bite. Here we go. All right, now that's interesting because I would have expected those two flavors to kind of compete with each other, and they don't. They actually complement each other. You get that sweetness of the caramel, you get that kind of tanginess and that sweetness of the coconut. Together, that coconut caramel flavor really mixes together, and this is actually a really delicious scone. I love the frosting on top that kind of brings all that sweetness together. All right, this one's a hit. All right, next up, we're gonna try the chocolate almond croissant. Here we go. So this one is good. However, for being a chocolate croissant, there is a tiniest amount of chocolate, like really deep in the center of this, so that until you get to that chocolate center, all you're getting is that kind of almond flaky croissant, which is good, but I think there should be a lot more chocolate in this. I mean, I think there should be a lot more chocolate in everything. Well, maybe not like barbecue ribs. But on the other hand, I will say that this thing is absolutely huge. You know, if you go to one of the chains, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna mention any names like Starbucks, but you get this dinky little croissant, and this thing is really huge and cheaper than you will find it, again, not naming any names, but Starbucks. All right, so moving on to the fruit Danish. This one happens to be mango. There's a nice big piece of mango in the center there. I don't know if this is full of mango goodness. Let's find out. Oh yeah, there isn't mango inside. I think the mango is right there in the center. Again, you have to work your way towards that mango, but getting to that mango is gonna be a lot of fun because this is nice and flaky, very sweet. The little hints of mango flavor actually come through. You don't have to get right to the center in order to get those mango flavors that come through. This one I really like, actually. And then moving on to our 4th and final selection. I see this big tray of cinnamon rolls up there. You've just got to get one and try them. A lot of bakeries will have cinnamon rolls. This place is kind of known for their cinnamon rolls. If not, well, then they're not. But I'm just gonna take a big old bite. We're gonna test this out. Oh yeah. Oh wow, this is super fresh. You know, it's about 11 o'clock here. Usually when you get to a bakery, kind of midday like this, or you know, early afternoon like this, all of the scones and all of the bakery items, they've been sitting around for hours. They have a tendency to dry out, and they're gonna serve them to you anyway. Each one of these tastes like it was made fresh 5 minutes ago. So a good cinnamon roll should be firm on the outside, gooey in the middle, and this checks both of those boxes. And it's a nice sweet glaze on top. It just all comes together for a really solid, delicious cinnamon roll. So from here, on the other side of town, there is yet another place that we can get one of the most unique breakfasts in Duluth. So I guess we're hobbits now, and well, we're gonna go get second breakfast now. Not really exactly how I intended to do this video, but well, here we are. And I got something on my face. So fun fact about Duluth, Bob Dylan was actually born right here in Duluth, Minnesota. So if you're looking for some of the most unique foods that you're gonna find here in Duluth, you've gotta come into town to a place like this. This is the Duluth Grill, and it's in this restaurant that you're gonna find some of the most unique dishes here in Duluth. This place is so uniquely Minnesotan, but just be aware that if you're gonna come here, they have kind of weird hours. They're only open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, except for, I don't know, some holidays. We're heading in, and we're gonna see just how unique this place really is. So to begin with here, I got one of their specialty coffee beverages. They have a lot of really interesting coffees here. So I elected to get the Maple Oat. It's local maple syrup, brown sugar, and oat milk with Alikef Organic Espresso. I have no clue what that is. If you do, comment below. But we're just gonna try this out. Oh my God. This may be the single best cup of coffee I have ever had. It is rich, creamy, it is flavorful. First you taste that really rich oat milk, and then that kind of tang of that espresso hits you at the end. This is amazing. So our brunch is served here. I don't even know what to make of this. This is probably the most unique and interesting plate I have ever had in front of me. Let's just dissect this thing. So this is the chicken and what? And I think it's actually against the law not to pronounce it that way, because it said right there. I mean, anytime you see the word what with a bunch of A's, you have to pronounce it that way. What? Don't know if that's true. It might be now. But this is an absolute monstrosity in such a good way. It starts with buttermilk fried chicken that sits on a homemade pancake laced with bacon and corn. That means that bacon and corn is actually infused in this pancake. So from what I understand, it actually tastes more like cornbread, like bacon cornbread, than a pancake. We're gonna find that out in just a second, but it doesn't stop there. It's topped with spicy maple bacon coffee syrup, and that's not really a syrup, that's the jam-looking concoction that's on top of all of this. But it's also sprinkled with goat cheese and scallions with a side of maple syrup on the side. I don't even know how I'm going to start. I mean, this presentation is pretty incredible. I'm gonna set the syrup aside so that I can cut into this. This is so perfectly presented, I actually don't want to cut into this and destroy this presentation, but then I can't eat it, so we're gonna destroy it in such a good way. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this bad boy in half. That is boneless chicken. This knife just cuts right through that so nicely. You can see the big chunks of corn in the pancake. You can see how nice and thick that fried chicken is, and that spicy maple bacon coffee syrup just kind of flows like lava over this entire presentation. This looks absolutely amazing. All right, let's dig in and try this out. Okay. This is interesting. My first inclination is I really wanted to like this. I really did. Just reading the ingredients in a menu makes this sound like it is going to be the best thing that you've ever eaten. And it is, except for that maple coffee jam that is so unbelievably strong, so overpowering. You really can't taste anything but that overwhelming coffee syrup, the jam. That coffee is such an overpowering flavor that it kind of destroys the flavor palette of everything else that's in this dish. It almost has kind of like a burnt flavor to it, almost like you're eating coffee grounds, but without the texture of coffee grounds. It kind of has that very strong coffee flavor that just kind of overshadows everything else. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest. I really wanted to like this. I really did. Okay, but now I'm gonna move on to the pancake itself. And I really like that there's bacon and corn infused within this pancake. Gives it a real Minnesota flair to it. We're just gonna try this out, just the pancake alone, and see how this is.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
Oh yeah. This one's good. That corn adds such a nice, sweet Minnesota flair pop to this pancake. And there are really big chunks of bacon in this pancake, and I really enjoy that. It's not like they put bagel bits or something like that and called it bacon infused. There are big chunks of bacon in this pancake. The pancake by itself with the maple syrup, that would be great in and of itself. Again, not really a fan of all the other ingredients on this plate, but listen, there are so many very unique dishes that can be found here at the Duluth Grill. So just because I didn't really enjoy my overall experience with this dish doesn't mean that there might be something else on this menu that I will find absolutely incredible. So another fun fact about Duluth is that the Greyhound Bus Company started right here in Duluth, Minnesota. I said fun fact, not interesting fact. So if you're looking for a little bit of an out-of-the-way area, a quiet little area here in town, you've got to come here to Silos at Pier B Resort. It's a little place where you can sit outside, right on the water, get a really great view of the bandshell where they have Bayfront Blues Festival, and a so-so view of the aerial lift bridge. There's a seagull that just landed over there. Why are you looking at me? He's looking at me with malicious intent. I will make you into buffalo wings. Don't come any closer. But it's here that you can find some of the best burgers in Duluth, and that's what we have right here. This is the Silo Brisket Burger. It's a Midwestern Black Angus patty topped with spicy honey barbecue brisket, white cheddar cheese, crispy onions, house pickles, and served on a brioche bun. All right, so I'm just gonna cut into this burger. Look at that. That is cooked to perfection, nice and juicy. That brisket looks amazing. So this is exactly the way I love my burgers. Nice and pink inside, but look at that barbecue sauce and that brisket on top. And I must say that I really appreciate when places like this put pickles underneath the patty, in between the patty and the bottom bun. Because if they didn't do that, the bottom bun has a tendency to get all juicy from the patty. But this way, you have that layer of pickle so that your bottom bun stays nice and dry unless it gets all ictified from the pickle juice. That's a massive flaw in my theory. Anyway, I'm gonna take a big old bite of this. We're gonna try it out. Wow, this is an absolute amazing burger. You know, this is Duluth. We're in America. You can get burgers anywhere in this city. You can get burgers anywhere in this country. But you can't really get really unique, pretty amazing burgers. You have to know exactly where to go to get those. This is one of those places. It's a nice thick patty. That spicy honey barbecue sauce is exactly what they say it is. It is spicy honey. It's flavorful, it's delicious. That coupled with the brisket, all the flavor profiles that you want in a good burger are right here. So yet another fun fact about Duluth is that right here in Duluth, Minnesota, this is the furthest inland you can get on any continent on the planet from the ocean. All right, so our final stop here on our Duluth tour takes us right here to Superior Street, right in downtown Duluth, to this place. Hang on, there it is. Lyric. Reason I chose this place is because they reportedly have one of the best steaks that you can find in Duluth. Whether that's true or not, we're about to find out. However, I do know that all of their steaks are locally grown and raised right here in northern Minnesota. So we're heading in and I'm gonna get a steak. So this place is actually, well, empty because it's Wednesday night while we happen to be here, but this is actually a really cozy little restaurant and bar area. I can see on a Friday, Saturday night, this place is packed. They're probably on a wait, but again, we're here on Wednesday night, so we pretty much have the place to ourselves. But take a look at this. Right here in the menu under Keeping It Local, they get all of their meats sourced from Old World Meats. And I just asked the server, and yes, in fact, Old World Meats is local to the Duluth area. So that means that the steaks that are served in this restaurant are in fact locally raised beef. So that's one of the reasons why I selected this place, was because the steaks pretty much can't get any more fresh than that. But having said that, I'm going for the Lyric Kitchen Cut Sirloin. Kitchen cut? I sincerely hope that it is cut in the kitchen and not like the bathroom. And if you look right here on the menu, it says that I didn't memorize it, hang on, I gotta read this. All steaks are certified Angus beef, hand cut and aged locally at Old World Meats, which means that it probably is pretty truthful. Why would they lie about that? But if you look under can't miss starters, we've got poutine, Canada's contribution to world cuisine. And seeing as how Canada Day is coming up in about 3 weeks from when I'm filming this, we're gonna check out their poutine. So once again, here we have Canada's contribution to world cuisine. This is poutine. It's French fries with squeaky cheese and gravy, and in this case, topped with tomatoes and scallions. When you eat poutine, it is served with this tiny little plate. This tiny little plate is called a Ritz. I don't know if any of you out there knew that, but yes, when you have poutine and you're sharing it and you have a little plate, the plate is called the Ritz, because what you do is you take a little spoonful of all of this goodness and you poutine on the Ritz. He shoots, he scores. That was like the biggest build-up to a joke, I think, in my entire non-comedic career. But anyway, we've got our poutine. We're gonna try this out. Now, for everybody in Canada, I have no idea if you just pick this up with your grubby little fingers and shove it in your mouth, or do you do it all sophisticated and dainty-like and use a fork. I do believe I'm going to do the sophisticated and dainty-like and use a fork. So we're gonna get a lot of that cheese, we're gonna get those fries, we're gonna get a lot of that gravy, and oh man, look at that. That is just looking so French fry, cheesy, gravy goodness. All right, so we're just gonna try out this poutine, all dainty-like and using a fork. That's really delicious. A little bit salty, but the fries are really nice and crisp. That squeaky cheese is really good. I wonder what kind of cheese they use for this. Do we know? Does it say in the menu? Let us read. Oh, fresh cheese curds, it says in the menu. Oh, and look at that. It says you need to eat this poutine all dainty-like with a fork. It says it right in the menu. You gotta do it. If you're Canadian, when you're watching this, comment below, is there one right way to make poutine, or is it one of these regional things where everybody kind of does it different? Comment below, let me know, because I have no idea. I've only been to Manitoba and Ontario. Okay, hosers, so we're gonna finish off this poutine right here, and my steak is gonna be up pretty dang quick, I suppose. I don't know, that was kind of a Minnesota Canadian accent thing. I'll work on that and get back to you, but for now I'm just gonna continue to eat my poutine and wait for my steak. Dainty. So right here we have Lyric's kitchen cut sirloin. It looks big, meaty, looks like a really tasty sirloin, but check out this baked potato and how they cut this baked potato. They didn't just haphazardly cut it right down the middle like I would. Look at that, that's almost like a jack-o'-lantern mouth cut. And as a matter of fact, I think that that's the name of this particular cut, is in fact jack-o'-lantern mouth cut. That is a really amazing presentation, I gotta say. I mean, it's simple, it's zigzaggy, it's jack-o'-lantern mouth. And I'm absolutely positive that it does in fact augment the flavor of the baked potato when they cut it this way. That's probably why they cut it that way. But look at this steak. It's shaped like a little heart, sort of, kind of. I mean, that's love from Minnesota. So let's cut into this heart-shaped steak and take a look here. Oh yeah, look at that. Absolutely cooked to perfection, just the way I like it. Look at that, it looks chock full of meaty goodness. So let's try out this steak. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, honestly, this may be one of the best steaks that I've ever had. All right, so let's move on to this baked potato. I really don't want to destroy this presentation because it really looks like it was carved with love and Halloween in mind. But we're gonna try out this baked potato. Yeah, I'm right. The cut of this baked potato really augments that taste. Can't think of another word other than augment. It accentuates it. It improves it. It makes it better. Yeah, so I can't think of other words other than augment. Augment is much more fun to say, but that has nothing to do with this baked potato. So for as simple as this is, just steak and potato, it really is a delicious steak. Best I've ever had, certainly in the top 5, but yeah, this baked potato steak, it's simple, it's perfect, it's beautiful, it's Duluth. So guys, if you're hungry for more, check out that video right there. If you're starving for more, check out that playlist right there. Please do not forget to hit like and subscribe. So another fun fact about Duluth, it's cold.